Jamaica, come close and listen very carefully. I'm about to say something very dangerous and it's going to burn a lot of people's chest. Jamaica, listen to me and listen to me very clear. This is not party talk. This is not green versus orange. This is survival.
That is ridiculous. You can't have husband and wife basically run a country. They're always gonna look out for each other and their family. Them not got business about the country and nobody else.
Did you know that Jamaica is the only place where the Prime Minister's wife is the Speaker of the House at the same time? Let that sink in for a minute. Right now, Jamaicans everywhere are crying out for Juliet Holness to step down as Speaker immediately. Why?
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we are looking at a political discussion that has been generating a lot of debate in Jamaica. And the reason it's getting so much attention is because it raises the question that goes beyond any political party. It's a question about power. It's a question about accountability. It's a question about whether something can be legal while still making people uncomfortable. The situation involves Prime Minister Andrew Holness and Speaker of the House Juliet Holness, who are husband and wife. Some people see no issue with it. Others believe it creates concern about checks and balances within the political system. So today we are going to look at the arguments being made and discuss the bigger implications behind them. So let's watch until the end and then I'll come back with my comments. Please subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. Thank you.
I feel like everybody wants to talk about classism in Jamaica, but nobody really wants to talk about nepotism. Nepotism is the act of providing advantages to friends or relatives in different occupations or fields: entertainment, healthcare, academia. When you look at Jamaica as a society, we as a society live off links. We love a link. Do you understand? A link to license, a link to a bank, a link to paying a bill. But the thing that comes into place now is, you see, when you have a class of people, and this meaning the higher class, the 20, whatever, these rich families, whatever you want to call them, you see, when you have a class of people and they exist as a group, right, and they are acting on nepotism, they are only benefiting themselves within their group. They're only providing the advantages, business or otherwise, within their group. So you have a society that the higher class is actually only providing the links and the benefits within their own class. That doesn't benefit the normal everyday people living and working with. And then on top of that layering is also the fact that most of the people that rule Jamaica are not of Jamaican heritage. They didn't come from Jamaica. They probably came into Jamaica as indentured laborers, not slaves, indentured laborers. And then they worked their time, they earned their wealth, and they generated their businesses. They now live and now being called these big families. But they weren't actually integral parts of society that went through slavery like the common folk did. So in terms of sharing wealth, they don't have that mindset. Why would you share a wealth in a society that you weren't really involved in, that you didn't really suffer with? Higher class uses nepotism in the worst way. In the worst way that doesn't benefit us and doesn't benefit Jamaica. And that's just the truth of the situation, because they're not there to benefit Jamaica. They're there to earn wealth. The more you realize that just because they're earning a large amount of wealth in Jamaica doesn't mean they have to care about Jamaica. That is the thing.
When the Prime Minister's wife becomes Speaker of the House, it's no longer politics. It is a national takeover. Let me say it again, so every Jamaican, every mother, every father, every elder, every youth, every policeman, every teacher, every doctor, every lawyer can feel it in them bones. When the referee of the game is married to the captain of the team, the entire match is rigged. The Speaker of the House is supposed to be impartial, non-political, non-aligned, a protector of fairness, the person that ensures that every member of parliament can challenge wrongdoing. So tell me, Jamaica, how can you be neutral when you sleep in the same house as the Prime Minister? How are you going to be impartial when the same person you're supposed to be checking is the same person you sit down with and have dinner with? Wanna see the madness yet, Jamaica? Jamaica, this is how dictatorship starts. Yes, dictatorship starts quietly, so wake up, Jamaica. Dictatorship don't come overnight. It doesn't come with soldiers on the road. And it does not come with tanks and guns. Dictatorship comes slowly, quietly. It comes through family appointments, friends on boards, donor contracts, and then shutting down anyone who speaks the truth. Jamaica, this is not a conspiracy, no. This is history. This is a pattern, and it's a fact. So what does it mean, Jamaica, when one couple holds two of the most powerful positions in the country? It means the PM controls the government and his wife controls the parliament. And together, they control debate, decision, discipline, and discussions. This is not democracy, Jamaica. This is family rule. And you know what family rule always leads to? It leads to corruption, silencing of critics, fear in parliament, no accountability, no transparency, and no democracy. You see, every country that went downhill had the same starting point. The opposition can't talk, can't question, cannot challenge, because the speaker controls who speaks, how long they speak, if they can finish their sentence, what motions get tabled, which corruption cases can be raised, and who gets thrown out. So if the PM does something wrong, the speaker, aka his wife, can block. Yes, member, you're out of order. Sit down. Debate closed and motion denied. So tell me again, Jamaica, how we supposed to get justice? How the truth supposed to reach the public? This is a real danger, Jamaica, especially for small countries like Jamaica, because family rule equal disaster. Why? Because nations like us, Jamaica, have weaker protection. What do I mean by that? We don't have strong watchdogs. We don't have strong courts. We do not have strong investigative systems. We do not have strong media independence. And we do not have strong financial independence. So when one family becomes too powerful in this small country of Jamaica, the country becomes controlled, silenced, afraid, dependent, and corrupt. Nepotism, Jamaica, is not bad optics. Nepotism is a national danger. And while Jamaica is suffering, power is being consolidated. Look at the timing, Jamaica. We are in a hurricane disaster. People homeless, roads destroyed, hospitals collapsing, food shortage, water shortage, economic crisis, crime rising, earthquake warnings, oil drilling threats, and foreign companies taking resources. And in the middle of all of this, power is being tightened, not shared. When a country is unstable, leaders should decentralize power. But in Jamaica, they are centralizing it in one household. And Jamaica, this is how nations fall. Listen to me, Jamaica. This is not about politics. This is about structure. Take off on the green glasses, take off on the orange glasses, and for one, look at Jamaica with your own eyes, not through party color. When the PM controls the executive and his wife controls the parliament, there is no checks and balance, Jamaica. None. Zero. Finished. And a country without checks and balance is a country preparing for dictatorship. Jamaica, Listen to me good. When the people in power start placing their family in the highest seat, you are no longer being governed, you are being managed. You are being handled, you are being controlled, and you are being silenced. You cannot question, you cannot challenge, you cannot oppose, and you cannot win. This is not democracy. This is not representation. Jamaica, this is capture. One family cannot lead an entire country. One house cannot control 2 houses of government. And Jamaica, if you don't speak now, if you don't wake up now, if you don't rise now, you're going to open your eyes one day and realize that you are living in a country where one woman, one man have the final say on the breath you breathe. So Jamaica, wake up now.
Asking this question, and I'm going to keep asking this question. Why is Gillette Holness the House Speaker? Husband and wife? That is a huge conflict of interest. Like, why? Why? That is bias, everything in one. Like, the people that are playing on the face and they don't see it. This is so ridiculous. I'm watching the videos, how she go on and talk. It is disgusting. It's ridiculous. Una can't wake up. Una can't see things for what it is. Like, PMP, JLP aside, politics aside, that is ridiculous. You can't have husband and wife basically run a country. They're always gonna look out for each other and their family. Them not got business about the country and nobody else. Money are going to fit in pocket. Why? Why can't? Why we fool, sir? No.
Andrew, you and your wife, y'all wrong. It's a conflict of interest. On a too disgusting. And all of y'all from the different parliaments who's sitting up there, y'all need to say something. Okay? Y'all need to say, this is the time for the Jamaicans to rise. Y'all have to, that's wrong. Wrong. Especially this time, with Hurricane Melissa and all that's going on, Andrew, you're wrong. Your wife, you're wrong. You're wrong for even taking the job. Wrong. And y'all are going to cause something where people are not paying attention to what they should pay attention to because they're going to be too focused on the corruption and wrongdoing. You should not be in that role. And I don't know if it's because that is Jamaica. Do you see First Lady taking up role under American government? And up here in America, them wicked and them wicked bad. Okay? And when man want to sneak and get him girl role, them sneak and get him girl role. It's not out in the you're wrong. And then you give her role as Speaker of House. In the same house where you have to speak. No, man. Y'all are blind on the things that the people them in Jamaica blind. No. Ain't no way Andrew and his wife are trying to pull this wool over people's eyes. I'm saying here, what? A thief will not try to thief the people their money or something. Y'all are up to something and on to discuss it. On if change it now.
Did you know that Jamaica is the only place where the Prime Minister's wife is the Speaker of the House at the same time? Let that sink in for a minute. Right now, Jamaicans everywhere are crying out for Juliette Holness to step down as Speaker immediately. Why? Because she is the wife of the Prime Minister, and people feel that makes the entire system look biased, unbalanced, and unfair. From ordinary Jamaicans online to voices like Spragga Benz, people are saying this has to do nothing with politics, not green, not orange, but simple righteousness. They're calling it a national takeover, where too much power seems to sit under one roof. Some Jamaicans are even saying if they were PNP members of parliament, they wouldn't attend certain meetings because when the Speaker is married to the Prime Minister, every decision looks questionable, even if it's legal. And here's a bigger picture. Here's the real situation. In almost every democracy around the world, from Canada to the UK, to India, to to America, Australia, the Speaker and the Prime Minister are never husband and wife. Or the Speaker and the President is never husband and wife. Because democracy depends on independence. It depends on trust. And it depends on the appearance of fairness, not family ties. Legal, yes. Wise, that's another story. Because Jamaicans doesn't need leadership. Jamaica needs trust. And trust disappears the moment power becomes a family affair.
Welcome back, guys. This is one of those conversations where emotions can easily take over. But I think the most productive approach is to step back and focus on the bigger picture. Because this discussion is really not about personalities. It's about institutions. And that's an important distinction. When people talk about democracy, they are not just talking about elections. They are talking about systems. They are also talking about checks and balances. They are talking about making sure no single person or group becomes too powerful. Now, one thing I understand from the concerns being raised is the issue of perception. Because even if something is completely legal, people will ask whether it creates the appearance of conflict of interest. And perception matters in politics. Public, public trust matters. Confidence in institutions matter. Because democracy does not only depend on rules, it also depends on people believing those rules are being applied fairly. Now, at the same time, it's important to acknowledge another side of the argument. Some people would say that both individuals were elected or appointed through legitimate processes. They would argue that qualifications, experience, and competence should matter more than family relationships. And that's a position many people hold as well. So this is not necessarily a simple issue. That's why it continues to generate debate. What I think is most interesting is the broader conversation about accountability. Because regardless of who is in office, citizens should always ask questions. Citizens should always pay attention. Citizens should always remain engaged. That's not opposition, that's democracy. So, strong democracies depend on people being informed and willing to examine how institutions operate. Another thing that stood out to me is the discussion about political tribalism. The idea that too many people view everything through party colors instead of principles. And honestly, I think that's a conversation worth having. Because whether someone supports one party or another, the standards we apply should remain consistent. If something is good governance, it should be good governance regardless of which party which party is in power. And if something raises concerns, those concerns should be discussed regardless of party loyalty. That's how healthy democracies grow stronger. Now, let's talk about something bigger. The real strength of a country is not found in any single politician. It's found in institutions, the courts, the media, parliament, the electoral system, and even the public itself. Strong institutions outlast individual leaders. And that's why conversations like this, I think they matter so much. Not because they are about one person or one family, but because they are about how systems functions over the long term. At the end of the day, I think the most important takeaway is this. People should never stop paying attention to how power is exercised. Not because we assume the worst, but because accountability is one of the foundations of democracy. Questions are healthy. Debate is healthy. Discussion is healthy. As long as it's done respectively and based on facts. Whether you agree with the concerns raised in this video or disagree with them, the conversation itself is important because democracies become stronger when citizens remain informed, engaged, and willing to think critically. So, thank you so much for watching until the end. If you are coming across this channel for the first time or you have not yet subscribed, please support me by hitting that subscribe button. On this channel, we are not just reacting to videos. We are having real conversations about issues that shape Jamaica and the wider Caribbean. So, please subscribe and I'll see you guys in the next reaction. Thank you.